Hello everyone, welcome to another video. Today we are going to discuss the next topic in cognitive psychology. So let's start. Anxiety, depression and cognitive biases. Most of the research discussed in the previous section dealt with the effects of mood manipulation on cognitive processing and performance. And it is also possible to focus on cognitive processing individuals who are generally in a given mood state. We can study healthy individuals having anxious or depressive personality. For example, anxious individuals can be selected by using questionnaires assessing trait anxieties. The above may sound like easy research strategy to adopt. However, anxious individuals also tend to be depressed and vice versa. Comorbidity is the term used to indicate a patient has two or more mental disorder at the same time. നമുക്കറിയാം ഒന്നിൽ കൂടുതൽ അസുഖങ്ങൾ ഒരുമിച്ച് വരികയാണെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്ന പേരാണ് comorbidity. And it is very common in patients with an anxiety disorder or a major depressive disorder. It is also the case that healthy individuals with anxious personality, high in trait anxiety also tend to have depressive personality. The important cognitive biases are as follows. So main ആയിട്ടുള്ള cognitive biases ഏതൊക്കെയാണെന്ന് നോക്കാം. Attentional bias, selective attention to trait related stimuli presented at the same time as neutral stimuli. This can involve a rapid attentional engagement with the threat stimuli or slow attentional disengagement. Interpretive bias, the tendency to interpret ambiguous stimulus and a situation in a threatening fashion. Explicit memory bias, the tendency to retrieve mostly negative or unpleasant rather than positive or neutral information on memory tests involving conscious recollections. Implicit memory bias, the tendency to exhibit superior performance for a negative or threatening than neutral or positive information on memory tests not involving conscious recollections. So main ആയിട്ട് നമുക്ക് ഈ നാല് ബയാസുകൾ പറയാൻ പറ്റും. അറ്റൻഷണൽ, ഇന്റർപ്രറ്റീവ്, എക്സ്പ്ലിസിറ്റ് ആൻഡ് ഇംപ്ലിസിറ്റ് എന്ന് പറയുന്ന നാലെണ്ണാക്കി തിരിക്കാൻ പറ്റും. And someone possessing all the above cognitive bias would attend excessively to environmental threats, interpret more ambiguous situation as threatening. So in the situation of the danger, as a result, it seems reasonable he or she would be more likely than most people to develop an anxiety disorder or depression. And however, we need to consider the causality issues. Suppose, for example, most anxious patients possess both cognitive bias. Did the cognitive bias play a role in triggering anxiety disorder? Did the anxiety disorder enhance the cognitive bias or causality bidirectional? So theoretical positions. While we are looking to theoretical positions, the cognitive biases would be expect anxious and depressed individual to possess. William et al. Put forward an influential answer which we will consider after discussing the distinction between perceptual and conceptual process. The perceptual process are essential data driven, are often fast and automatic, and they are used in basic attentional process and implicit memory. In contrast, conceptual process are top down and are generally slow and more controlled than perceptual process. So adana conceptual process like basic attentional process and then William et al. Argued that anxiety and depression fulfill different functions, and these different functions have important consequence for information processing. Anxiety has the function of anticipating danger or future threats. So future threats നെ പറ്റിയിട്ട് നമ്മൾ ഓവറായിട്ട് ചിന്തിച്ചിരിക്കുകയാണെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ആൻസൈറ്റി എന്തായാലും ഒരു ഫിയർ ഇവോക്ക് ചെയ്യും. അതിനാണ് നമ്മൾ ആൻസൈറ്റി എന്ന് വിളിക്കുന്നത്. As a result, anxiety facilitates the perceptual processing of threat-related stimuli. Depression has the function of replacing failed goals. ഫെയിൽഡ് ഗോൾസ് നമുക്ക് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റാത്തതിനൊക്കെ ചുറ്റിപ്പറ്റിയിട്ടായിരിക്കും ഡിപ്രഷൻ പോലുള്ള സംഭവങ്ങൾ വരാം. This implies that the conceptual processing of internally generated material related to failure or loss may be more relevant to this function than perceptual vigilance. The above assumptions generate the following four predictions. Anxious individuals should have an attentional bias for threatening stimuli when perceptual processes are involved. Depressed individuals should have an attentional bias only when conceptual processing is involved. അതാണ് ആൻഷ്യസും ഡിപ്രഷനും ഫസ്റ്റ് ഇതിൽ വരുന്ന വ്യത്യാസം. Then anxious and depressed individuals should have an interpretive bias for ambiguous stimulus and situations. നമുക്ക് പ്രെഡിക്റ്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റാത്ത സ്റ്റിമുലസുകളാണ് എന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ both have interpretive bias. And depressed individuals should have an explicit memory bias, but anxious one should not. And anxious individual should have implicit memory bias, but depressed one should not when one perceptual process are involved. അതാണ് ലൈക്ക് എക്സ്പ്ലിസിറ്റ് മെമ്മറിയും അതേമാതിരി ഇംപ്ലിസിറ്റ് മെമ്മറി ബയാസും വർക്ക് ചെയ്യുന്നത് ആൻഷ്യസിലും ഡിപ്രഷനിലും രണ്ടായിട്ടാണ് വർക്ക് ചെയ്യാറ്. There have been various important theoretical development in the years since William et al. Put forward this theory. Okay. And combined cognitive bias hypothesis. Most of theorists have treated the various cognitive biases as if they were entirely separate. This approach was challenged by Hitch. According to their combination cognitive bias hypothesis, cognitive biases do not operate in isolation, but rather can influence each other and or can interact so that the impact of each on another variable is influenced by the other. So random or interaction level Hitch focused on cognitive processing social phobia. Okay, and Everett argued that this hypothesis is equally applicable to depression and identified several questions raised by it. First, are different cognitive bias are interrelated? Second, can change in one cognitive bias causes change in another one? Third, do multiple bias have addictive effects on patient symptoms, or are the effects greater than that? So, these three questions are main item. Then cognitive control. Jorman argued that executive or control process are important to an understanding of cognitive bias in depression. Consider inhibitory control. We already inhibitory control mentioned. If depressed individuals have deficient inhibitory control, they might have difficulty in disengaging attention from negative stimuli. More generally, inhibitory control is an executive process involving the resource of working memory, and there is evidence that depression is associated with a reduced working memory resource. According to Jorman's theoretical approach, depressed individuals have impaired cognitive control. As just discussed, the impaired control causes problem in disengaging attention from negative information. And depressed individuals are likely to elaborate all this information during the additional time they attend to it. This can lead to enhanced memory for such informations. That's called memory bias. Okay. Next, attentional bias. Various tasks assess attentional bias. First, there is the dot problem. Two stimuli are presented at the same time and different location of the computer screen. On critical trials, one stimulus is emotionally negative and other is neutral. And then allocation of attention is assessed by recording the speed of detection of the dot and replace one stimulus. ഇങ്ങനെ ഒരു സ്റ്റഡി നടന്ന attentional bias ഇതാക്കിയിട്ട് ഒരു stimuli നടത്തിയിരുന്നു. And therefore attentional bias is shown by a consistent tendency for detection in latency is to be shorter when the dot replace the negative stimulus. അതൊരു particular study ആണ്. അതേപോലെ മറ്റൊരു സ്റ്റഡി കൂടെ ഉണ്ട് നമ്മുടെ നോട്ടിലുണ്ട്. Okay. Then interpretive bias. In our everyday life, we often encounter ambiguous situation. For example, if someone walks past you without acknowledging your presence, does this mean they dislike you or simply that they fail to notice you? Individuals who generally interpret ambiguous situation in a threatening manner have an interpretive bias. So, interpretive bias is ഒരു ആളുകളുടെ particular behavior എന്തുവാണെങ്കിൽ interpret ചെയ്യുന്നതാണ് വ്യത്യാസം. Anxious individuals have an interpretive bias. Okay, Eysenck asked participants to vary in their level of trait anxiety and write down spelling of auditory presence of word. Some words were homophonous and having separate threat-related neutral interpretations. And trait anxiety correlated 0.6 ഒരു സ്റ്റഡിയാണ് പറയുന്നത് 0.6 വരെ നമ്പർ ത്രെട്ടനിങ് ഹോമോഫോസ് ഇന്റർപ്രിട്ടേഷൻ ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു എന്നുള്ളതാണ് പറയുന്നത്. And the result is individuals high in trait anxiety do not have an interpretive bias for every potential threatening situations. And Isaac et al. Studied patient with general anxiety disorder, a condition characterized by excessive worry about numerous issues. The patients listed an ambiguous sentence such as the following. The മൂന്നെണ്ണാണ് main ആയിട്ട് വന്നത്. At the refugee camp, the week would soon be finished. The doctor examined little Emma's brother. They discussed the prince condition. Patients with GADs were more likely than healthy control to interpret such sentences in threatening a way. Then memory bias. Why studying memory bias in anxious and depressed individuals? The existence of such bias may be well played in a role of maintaining negative mood state via relatively automatic processes or process of which individuals is aware. William et al. Predict explicit memory bias would be found more often in depressed than anxious individuals. Already whereas the opposite would be in the case of implicit memory bias in their literature review. And similar findings having been reported subsequently research. നമ്മൾ ഓൾറെഡി ആ ഒരു പറഞ്ഞ എക്സ്പ്ലിസിറ്റും ഇംപ്ലിസിറ്റും തമ്മിലുള്ള ഒരു വ്യത്യാസം. ആൻഡ് കമ്പൈൻഡ് കോഗ്നിറ്റീവ് ബയാസ് മോഡൽ. According to combined cognitive bias hypothesis, cognitive bias influence each other. അത് തമ്മിൽ എന്തുണ്ടാവും, ഇൻഫ്ലുവൻസ് ഉണ്ടാവും. The best approach is to increase one cognitive bias using cognitive bias modification techniques. According to the hypothesis, this should have predicted effects on a different cognitive bias. And White et al. Used a training procedure to increase attentional bias. This increased participants' tendency to interpret ambiguous information in a threatening way. And Amir et al. Found training to be reduced interpretive bias made it easy for participants to disengage attention from threat. These findings suggest attention and interpretive bias reflect the operation of shared selective process mechanism. പിന്നെ ഇതിൽ വന്നൊരു മെയിൻ ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു തിയറി അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒരു ഹൈപ്പോത്തിസിസ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ കോഗ്നിറ്റീവ് വൾനറബിലിറ്റി ഹൈപ്പോത്തിസിസ് ആണ്. Cognitive therapists assume healthy individuals possessing various cognitive bias are more vulnerable than other people to develop anxiety disorder or depression. According to this cognitive vulnerability hypothesis, negative life events should have greater adverse effect on the well-being of individuals with cognitive bias. അതാണ് അതിൻ്റെ ഒപ്പമുള്ള ഫിഗർ കൊടുത്തില്ല. എഫക്ട്സ് ഓഫ് നെഗറ്റീവ് ഇവന്റ്സ് on depression symptoms in children with interpretive bias. Okay, so high pessimistic and high pessimistic ആണ്, low optimistic കാണുന്നുണ്ട്. So inferential style എങ്ങനെയാണെന്നുള്ളത്, so അതിനനുസരിച്ചിട്ട് അതിന് വരുന്ന predicted depressive symptoms. Cognitive bias modifications. We have seen anxiety, depression are both associated with the presence of various cognitive bias. As mentioned earlier, the direct causality is crucial. Do cognitive bias make individual vulnerable or to develop anxiety or depression? So the optimal way to address this issue is by cognitive bias modification, which is the experimental paradigm that uses training to induce maladaptive or adaptive cognitive biases. So cognitive bias modify ചെയ്യാണെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ഈ പറഞ്ഞ പ്രോബ്ലംസിനൊക്കെ കുറെ നമുക്ക് എന്ത് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും, കൺട്രോൾ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്ന പറയുന്നത്. And we can find a way out. Okay. So these are the main things related to the biases in cognitive psychology, like നമ്മുടെ അഫക്റ്റ് ഇമോഷനും അതേപോലെ തന്നെ കോഗ്നിഷനും തമ്മിലുള്ള ബന്ധത്തിലുള്ള ബയാസും കാര്യങ്ങളൊക്കെയാണ് ഇതിൽ പറഞ്ഞിട്ടുള്ളത്. Hope you all understand. Thank you.